Hey, what's going on, y'all? Just getting off work. Just wanted to kind of chime in on some stuff. Um, y'all ever heard of a buck? The historic definition of what they termed a black man who was primed and ready to breed uh, field hands for slave owners and overseers. The historic title for a black man was called a buck. And what we were used for was to propagate and multiply. We were using that one buck, which was one black male. They didn't need a lot of them. One black male to spread his seeds into 20, 30 female slaves that could birth more field hands, more workers, more babies that they would breed and develop into strong workers for either the field or home life, domestic life, depending on, whether they would birth a male or a female. The females would cook a lot of the times. The males would be a little muscular when they're teenage boys and young men, and they do a lot of field work and things of that nature. But the main purpose for a buck was to exploit his sexual prowess and to make babies. Now, how he did that under that kind of stress of being whipped and killed and burned and all that stuff, under the threat of violence, I don't know. I mean, sex takes a certain peace of mind, because a stressed out person, just a stressed out man, you ain't gonna get nothing out of him. So to go through that kind of stress as a male slave, I don't see how they bred us. Like, I don't see how we got excited about having sex when we were being forced to make babies just to increase our numbers. But the main reason for this video, I don't want to get too off topic, was the black woman's perception of us today is still the buck. When you look at a lot of the reasons why black women desire us, is because, the black man got good sex, or they just sexier, they got more swag, or they got more style, or they got more this, or they're more attractive than other races. When black women look at us, they always look at us through the lens of a sexual object. The perception of us is still a buck. After all these years have went past, we are still nothing more, not all, but we are still, for the most part, nothing more than a tool used to procreate with black women. And when you look at the state of black women, most aren't married. The illegitimacy rate is through the roof. I work at a school, and I teach sixth grade special education, and the majority of these children do not have fathers in the home. The mothers just like to be sexually gratified and procreate, and that's basically it. And so I think when black women start to look at us and view the black male as more than a penis with legs walking around in the world, I think that the black family will have the nucleus will be a little bit stronger. The structure will be stronger. The family values will be a little bit more intact. If we're looked at as more than the buck, because that's all we've been through 400 years in this country. We've been used as a buck through slavery, and now into modern days, we're still looked at from the black female community as the tool to help them multiply and procreate. We're looked at to sexually gratify them. We're not looked at as husbands. We're not looked at as partners, friends. We're not looked at by the black females in our community as builders, as leaders. I hear it all the time. And I hear this from black females, we are basically looked at as a vehicle for sexual gratification and procreation, and it shows in our family life. Like I said, we abort more kids than any other race of female. Our illegitimacy rate, which for those of you who don't know what that means our rate of having children out of wedlock, is through the roof. You know, our women love to be sexually gratified, and they love to have 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 children by 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10 different men. I mean, that, you know, that's the trend for the last 30, 40 years. But as far as wanting a leader, having a righteous man in the home for them to take accountability for not only their actions but their children's actions, and how their children are raised, and how the children do academically in school, and how mannerable their children are, and how courteous to their elders their children are. Any man that comes in there and wants to create structure and wants to create a strong home, they're not for it. You know, if you're not sexually gratifying them or helping them make babies, they have no use for us. We are still the buck. In the black community, we are still looked at by our women as the buck. And this is a historic pattern that still lives on. And it's time for us to change that pattern. And it's time for our women to finally stop looking. After 400 years, I think after that amount of time, after almost 5 centuries, it's about time for us to be viewed by a woman as something more than a buck. So like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.